Good afternoon and welcome to CoreTV News at 4. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. The Inspector General of Police Solomon Arase has deployed 3 commissioners to assist Deputy Inspector General in charge of operations, Shotoye Makawa, in overseeing Saturday's governorship election in Kogi State. He has also temporarily posted the Commissioner of Police in the state, Emmanuel Ojukwu, to the force headquarters. This, according to police spokesperson Olabisi Kolawole, are part of measures to ensure proper coordination of security for a hitch-free election. The 3 police commissioners posted to the state are Isaac Eke, Peter Ogunyowo and Sam Okala, and they would have to work with 3 assistant commissioners who will supervise security arrangements in each senatorial district. Also, 4,969 personnel of the police mobile force drawn from different squadrons across the country as it complements the 11,000 conventional police operatives and other security agents on ground. In addition, the police planned to enforce a partial restriction of vehicular movement within and along boundaries of the state from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday. 18 people, including 2 youth corps members, were killed in an accident involving a commercial bus heading to Port Harcourt from Kano. The accident happened on the Dew Bridge along the Lokoja-Abuja Highway. The men of the Federal Road Safety Commission are on scene controlling traffic. We'll bring you details of that report in a subsequent bulletins. The Senate has summoned Inspector General of Police Solomon Arase and the Director General of the Department of State Service, Lawal Dora, to shed light on the measures security operatives are adopting to curb the rise in kidnappings in some parts of the country. Now, this follows a motion tabled by Senator Andy Oba, Anambra South, on the recurrence of kidnappings and hostage-taking in Nigeria. In his submission, the senator argued that kidnapping is a form of terrorism and should be treated as such. Lawmakers contributed to the motion of the view that tackling unemployment is one way of ending the spate of kidnapping in the country. A date has not been fixed yet for the appearance of the 2 security chiefs before the Senate.
The menace of kidnapping has been on the rise in recent times in some parts of the country. Thus, the motion on the issue is not misplaced, as it seeks to once again alert Nigerians on the ills associated with the vice. According to the sponsor of the motion, it is a national wake-up call.
Let the Senate note that with displeasure, the seeming prevalence of the crime of kidnapping in Nigeria, the incidents of kidnapping have assumed dangerous dimensions, and like a cancer, its spread seems to be permeating all states in Nigeria. The Senate notes also that by virtue of the provision of Section 14(2)(b) of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. The Senate concerned that the general rate of insecurity in the country is worrisome, thereby taking away some merits from the success that we have so far recorded in Nigeria's counter-terrorism war against insurgents in its northeast region.
Deputy Senate Leader Bala Ibn Nala even cited an instance involving now Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, which did not go down well with Senate Minority Leader Godswill Akpabio.
Today, the Southeast is in deep trouble. But it's not the Southeast, it is the country that is in deep trouble. We forgot so easily that a whole executive governor with all the paraphernalia of power was once kidnapped in Anambra. And at that time, it was right. And we saw it as usual. And with the greatest respect, it was under that party that ruled this country for 12 years. 16 years, sorry. Now that we have taken now that we have taken a collective decision, as a nation, to look at things that are clearly wrong under our laws and the Constitution, and where possible to spin on it, I think distinguished Senator Andy Uba deserve commendation.
Obasanjo, Jonathan, 1984, all of them. It should not go into past governments at all. It should just restrict itself to the current situation because the A Senate is out to change things. This is a period of change. And if this is a period of change, you should talk about change. You should not keep referring to past administration 30 years ago, 24 years ago. Otherwise, we will remind him of things that happened so many years ago, and we should just move forward.
There was also a failed attempt by the senator representing Akwa Ibom Northwest, Albert Bassi, to call on the federal government to declare a state of emergency on unemployment. But in the end, the lawmakers agreed that government and other relevant stakeholders must do more to reduce unemployment in order to curb kidnapping and other related vices. Basia Ye, CoreTV News, Abuja.
All right, Oban joined live by correspondent from Kogi State, Rashid Rashid. Hello, Rashid Rashid, are you there?
Very good evening to you, Olajumoke.
Good evening. Now, can you bring us up to date with happenings in Lokoja as we speak ahead of tomorrow's governorship election?
Well, I want to tell you as a matter of fact that the frenzy fever about the whole election has actually gripped the town. Not negatively this time around, but positively. All relevant and critical stakeholders as the electoral process is concerned are really gearing up towards having a very historic election. As a matter of fact, I just finished speaking with the President Electoral Commissioner, Alhaji Hussein Ali Lufai,
Okay.
who gave the assurance of having a very history election. He made specific comments about the transportation of relevant electoral materials to remote areas, because that was the question we first asked. That in so many elections, we've always had this problem of electoral materials not getting to where they are to be used on time due to the remoteness of those areas. And he said they've actually devised a situation whereby material are going to leave the headquarters today, which they've actually left, to this route, and from there on it will be on for onward transportation tomorrow morning, so that as early as 8 a.m. of the morning, all the electoral materials would have gotten to every destination, be it remote area or urban area. They also took him up on the issue of security. He made us understand that there is a very clear synergy between INEC and is where there is all apparatus in place to make the election a history. And as a matter of fact, right now I'm at the police headquarters where the police is getting ready to address journalists on the preparedness of the Nigerian police and how they will be able to make the election history and tie the knots from their own side also. That has been the update for now. And for now, all the city of Lokoja for now is really calm. Everyone are going by their duties without any hiccup. All things are really getting set for the election tomorrow.
All right, thank you very much, Rashid Rashid.
You're welcome.
Now, the Senate has received a petition against the chairman of the Code of Conduct Tribunal, Dala Dumaro. The petition, which borders on allegation of corruption and abuse of office, was laid by Senator Obinna Ogba, representing Ebonyi Central, who had raised a point of order to that effect. The matter was subsequently referred to the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions, which is expected to submit a report in 2 weeks. Now, Senate President Bukola Saraki has inaugurated 10 more of the recently constituted standing committees of the upper legislative chamber. Now, this brings to 17 the number of committees so far inaugurated. The committees include those of Defense and Army headed by Ahmed Lawan and George Akume. The two senators of the ruling party preferred as presiding officers of the Senate.
Selecting members of your committees with your background, experience, knowledge, passion, and the highest standard of legislative competence that will help the Senate achieve its legislative agenda was compelling aside the need for balance. You have been chosen also because you have a great task ahead to think outside the box. I expect that you work to affirm this choice discharging your duties diligently. In this regard, I must emphasize the importance of regular attendance to meetings. This cannot be overstressed. The Senate leadership is willing and is ready to support your committees with all that is needed to carry out the assignments required and provide adequate funding that will ensure that you will be able to carry out your work effectively.
These committees will not fail to articulate relevant legislations for the Senate in pursuit of good governance, security, welfare of people, access to quality higher education, and research in food security and awareness.
As part of efforts to encourage diversification of the economy, the Senate wants federal government to put a stop to the activities of illegal miners of the nation's mineral deposits. This, according to a motion sponsored by Duro Fashaya from Ekiti North, is because Nigeria loses over 8 trillion naira every 2 years to illegal mining. Supporters of the motion describe this act as sabotage and corruption, especially at the time Nigeria is seeking to raise its non-oil revenue. Former chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ibrahim Lamade, is taking the Senate to court over the summon issued by its Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petition. His lawyer, Festus Keyamo, files the case at the Federal High Court in Abuja and added Inspector General Solomon Arase and the Director General of the Department of State Service, Lawal Dore. Lamade is seeking an injunction to restrain the Senate from inviting him to give account of an office he has since vacated. He also wants the courts to stop them from issuing a warrant for his arrest without issuing a summon. The court papers were filed on Thursday, but no date has been fixed for hearing. Now, the former political advisor to former President Goodluck Jonathan, Ahmed Goodluck, has commenced legal action against the People's Democratic Party over its decision to exclude the Northeast region from the National Working Committee. Speaking with newsmen on Friday, Goodluck insisted that the lack of recognition suffered by the zone under the Uche Secondus-led National Working Committee was selfish and unacceptable. He argued that many others had benefited from the same law that backs his bid to take over the position of national chairman, left vacant since Amadou Muhaza's resignation. We'll take a quick break. I'll be back on my stories. Please tune us again.
This is what the people are saying.
You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water, and new TT.
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws have done nothing good for this country.
Buhari won the election convincingly.
Talk to her husband that you should keep promise about what you said, and because people are watching you, you know. Another election is coming.
But some people will strong for Yoruba land. Will be strong man. You don't die.
This nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
Thank you for joining us again. Now, for more news and other programs, please visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can follow us on Twitter at CoreTV News NG. Also visit our YouTube channel at youtube.com/CoreTV_the news. Information Minister Lai Mohammed has charged the management of the National Orientation Agency at federal and state levels to brace up for the task of spearheading a massive nationwide reorientation campaign. The campaign, according to him, is targeted at ensuring a change in attitude, as well as to mobilize the citizenry to indulge in acts that promote peace and national development. Lai Mohammed said this at a meeting with the NOA Director General Mike Omeri and state directors of the agency in Abuja.
The NOA will shoulder the bulk of the responsibility of propagating the change agenda. Fortunately, the agency seems to have prepared for this responsibility, going by its mission statement, which is, and I quote, to consistently raise awareness, provide timely and credible feedback, positively change attitudes, values and behaviors, accurately and adequately inform, and sufficiently mobilize citizens to act in ways that promote peace, harmony, and national development.
The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, is seeking a comprehensive study of the fuel subsidy program to determine its impact on the Nigerian people. Now, speaking at the end of deliberations on the 2015 Supplementary Appropriation Bill, the Speaker said if it was not beneficial on the long run to Nigerians, then the House will consider asking that it be thrown out. Jamila Fegwa reports that the bill has scaled through the second hearing.
Deliberations started with the House Leader Femi Gbajabiamila reading the bill. He brought up what he said was a miscalculation in the 2015 budget, which led to a shortfall in the revenue projection.
These assumptions were meant to realize a revenue of 3.452 million naira with a targeted expenditure of 4.485 trillion naira. Unfortunately, all the calculations went wrong due to decline in oil prices to an all-time low.
There were mixed feelings about the allocation to sports. While some were happy about the amount, others queried why the last All-African Games should be allocated monies when the games were over.
A situation where a budget is sent to you and the expenditure already has been incurred, it creates unacceptable condition, Mr. Speaker. It negates the clear spirit and intent of the Constitution.
I wish to appreciate Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari for including the Sports Commission, National Sports Commission, to include and allocate about 1.5 billion naira to National Sports Commission. That shows that this time around the Sports Commission will do better than before.
The lawmakers pushed for a vote for subsidy payment in order to end the current petroleum shortages in the country, but concerns were raised about the ongoing insurgency in the country.
That over 75% of the amount being proposed for this supplementary budget is going into subsidy payment. And we expect, well, I say over, we expect that when this bill is passed on to the appropriation committee, they are going to do a thorough analysis of how much has been spent on subsidy.
In order to sustain that momentum so that we will not have a relapse to the bad old days, there is the need to continuously fund the Operation Dole so that peace, security, and good governance will return to these communities that are hitherto ravaged by Boko Haram insurgency.
In rounding off the debate, Speaker Dogara maintained that the fuel subsidy has to make meaning to stay.
I think the President has stated it in unequivocal terms that he is against the removal of subsidy, which is for the benefit of the masses. Now, sorry, please, don't clap, don't clap, don't clap. If there's any member seated here who has any other information, I want to be educated myself. I want to know that the President is for the removal of subsidy so that we can confront him. If there's anyone who has any contrary opinion about this, but I know as a leader in this government that the President has stated, restated, and stated again that it's against the removal of subsidy.
The bill was thereafter referred to the Committee on Appropriation for further legislative action. Jamil Afegwa, CoreTV News, Abuja.
Nigeria's flagged off a national measles campaign that will target 39 million children between the age range of 9 and 59 months. Minister of Health, Professor Folorunsho Adewale, launched the national campaign in Abuja. He explained that the first phase of the campaign, which will focus on 19 states in the northern Nigeria, will last for 5 days.
The commitment of the current administration to eliminate measles in Nigeria. And what we're doing, following WHO recommendation, is to flag off campaign programs that will help us to improve on the coverage of measles immunization in Nigeria. And we are going to do it in 2 batches. We will do the one in the north from tomorrow for 5 days. Apart from Kogi, because of the election, the campaign in Kogi will take place on the 28th. And then we'll come back to the south, I think 28th of February, January to 1st of February. This administration is committed to taking health to the doorstep of every Nigerian.
The management of French automakers Peugeot Citroën is seeking the partnership of the Nigerian authorities for the production of affordable cars. The executive vice president of the company, Jean-Christophe Olmed, disclosed this to journalists at the State House after a meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari. He spoke after the president had inspected the vehicles the firm brought to the presidential villa.
The global economy is not favorable to the development of the new car market. We are fully aware of that. But what we are looking in a long-term perspective. We know that the Nigerian market and the Nigerian economy will grow up, will develop, and that there will be a future there. I mean, we are not looking at this market, today. We are looking at this market in the coming years.
As Nigerians continue to speculate on the workability of the Treasury single account, Osun State Governor Ralph Aregbesola says plans are on the way to organize the workshop for state governors. Now, this is to enable them understand the initiative. Aregbesola disclosed this while briefing the press on the outcome of the National Economic Council meeting. He says the council also mandated the Ministry of Finance to investigate government agencies that are collecting dollars but remitting naira into the Federation account.
A workshop on Treasury single account for state governors. IMF senior resident representative and mission chief presented a paper on the Treasury single account to the council. Presentations were made on the underlisted subtopics by other speakers. 1. Implementation of TSA in states, lessons and experience. Cash management and TSA reforms on an overview of international practice and budgeting reforms. The Council mandated the Ministry of Finance to investigate and report the allegation that some revenue-generating ministries, departments, and agencies received money in foreign currency and convert to local currencies before remitting to the FGN account.
The leader. Beautiful. Beautiful. Master of the game.
As Plateau State tenaciously seeks to end its over 14 years communal clashes, there's almost to become the emblem of the Middle Belt State. It has become customary for every force commander to report itself to the Traditional Council, pledging its allegiance for peace. The latest of such commander is that of the Air Force Commander in Jos. Our Plateau State correspondent has more details. The new Air Force commander sent to Nigeria Air Force Base in Jos paid courtesy visit to the head of the Plateau State Traditional Council, the Gbonwan of Jos, pledging to be part of the earnest search for peace in the troubled state.
I present myself to His Majesty as the new commander of Nigeria Air Force Station Jos, and also seek for his blessings, support.
Also in company of the Air Force Commander is the State Controller for Immigration, tasking the Royal Father to assist the community in curbing the advancement of aliens who always poses danger to the indigents.
There are 17 local government areas in Plateau State and they have permanent rulers. I would like to seek his support in the paramount rulers to support my officers in the local government areas in terms of information and intelligence.
The traditional ruler expresses optimism in the fight against terrorism, which would be duplicated in Plateau State to bring an end to the ceaseless casualties from the perennial communal clashes in the state.
We just hope that this is a huge wake-up call for us to be more holistic in our planning and our development efforts. We must be proactive accordingly. The Air Force has contributed a lot here on the plateau, just like it does anywhere.
It is widely believed that the end to the crisis in Plateau State is not beyond its leaders if the political and human will are brought forward beyond self-interest. You're still watching CoreTV News at 4. We'll take another break. I'll be back with stories from business, sports and outside Nigeria. Please stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Now, Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Dr. Sarah Lade, has denied the news reports that the CBN plans to restrict dollar supplies to the interbank foreign exchange market. Further quoting a source that the central bank had told commercial lenders at a meeting last week that it plans to cut dollar supplies to the market because it is running short of reserves. According to a person attending the talks, the central bank will only sell as many dollars to banks or currency dealers as it receives from oil export, which accounts to about $1 billion a month. The Nigerian Port Authorities constituted a surveillance team to certify the quality of trucks operating within the port and Lagos corridor. A statement issued by the NPA explains that members of the team drawn from the Western Port headquarters in Lagos Port Complex and Tinkan Island Port Complex are now involved in the physical inspection of trucks to ensure that only trucks which comply with stipulated safety standards are allowed entrance into the port within the Lagos area. NPA General Manager Iheanacho Ebugogo expresses optimism that if the minimum standards of roadworthiness are enforced on all trucks admitted for operations in the port and the terminal operators adhering strictly to it, it will eventually eliminate cases of mishap within and outside the port due to faulty and substandard trucks. Niger businessman Aliko Dangote has dismissed suggestions that he was among the 170 people taken hostage by the jihadists in Mali. An international news agency had claimed that Africa's richest man was in the Radisson Blu Hotel in Bamako when the gunmen struck on Friday morning. But after the news went viral, Dangote used his Twitter handle to lay the reports to rest. He admitted that he was in Mali but said he left the country on Thursday. The hostage situation at the hotel is still on, but security forces, including UN troops, have now surrounded the complex. Gunmen launched an attack on the Radisson Blu Hotel in the center of Mali's capital, Bamako. 2 people have locked in 140 guests and 30 employees in a hostage-taking situation. The hotel owners said in a statement that according to a security source, police have surrounded the hotel, which the gunmen entered shooting and shouting, "God is great" in Arabic. The U.S.-owned hotel is popular with experts working in Mali, but the security source had told Reuters that some hostages, including those able to recite verses of the Quran, are being freed. The security forces have escorted 2 women from besieged hotel. In August, suspected Islamic gunmen killed 13 people, including 5 UN workers, during a hostage siege at a hotel in the central Malian town of Sevara. Chinese security forces have killed 28 people allegedly responsible for a deadly attack on a coal mine in Yingan. The death took place over a 56-day operation in which 1 person was detained. It is the first official report of the September 18 incident at the Sugan Colliery in Askell that killed 16 people. Xinjiang, often hit by unrest, is home to a Huigan ethnic minority. China says foreign terrorists are behind the violence in the region, but hundreds of people have died in attacks over the past 3 years. Ethnic people who are Muslims say Beijing's repression of their religious and cultural customs is provoking the violence. After 56 days of continuous fighting, Xinjiang destroyed a violent terrorist gang directly under the command of a foreign extremist group. Aside from one person who surrendered, 28 thugs were completely annihilated, the Jangan Daily says, and this is according to Reuters News Nigeria. Now, voting has begun in New Zealand in a referendum which could see the country getting a new national flag. New Zealanders have just under a month to send in a postal ballot and which 5 potential new flags they prefer. A second vote on 2016 will ask whether they want to replace the existing flag, which features the UK's Union Jack with a new design. Prime Minister John Key has said the current flag is now representative of modern New Zealand. He also believes it is too similar to Australia's, but has admitted that polling indicates most New Zealanders will rather keep the flag. Consideration panel received 10,292 entrants to its nationwide design competition. And in sport.
Our style, that's what he delivered. Here's that ball storming, now he takes Puyol with a flying lead.
Go, taking them out in the lead and
Chelsea manager Jose Mourinho says he's confident he retains the trust of owner Roman Abramovich. The Premier League champions are 3 points ahead above the relegation zone after losing 7 of their opening 12 Premier League matches. Chelsea hosts Norwich on Saturday, seeking to end a run of 3 successive league defeats. But Emenalo, who's close to Abramovich, said in an interview published on Friday that Mourinho retained the club's support. Mourinho added that he sees no need to carry a significant squad strengthening into January, adding he expects striker Radamel Falcao to return from the muscle problem for the next 2 weeks and goalkeeper to be fit sometime next month, having been out since September with a knee injury. Manchester United boss Louis van Gaal says Anthony Martial and Wayne Rooney are among 6 players who will meet Saturday's trip to Watford. Martial, 19, was injured in France's friendly international against England on Tuesday, while Rooney is ill. Marco Carriage, injured in England's friendly against Spain, joins Fellaini, Antonio Valencia and Luke Shaw on the treatment table. Van Gaal says striker James Wilson is not fit to play 90 minutes, but United have been accused of lacking flair this season and have scored the fewest goals of the Premier League's top 7 teams. They also have the meanest defense in the division. But that's a wrap on CoreTV News at 4 minutes. Thanks for watching. I'm Olajuwon for